back to The Story That Built Her. Today, I am interviewing Jami, and we are going to learn about her life and what led her here. As you know, these are the stories that go beyond the highlight reel to the real, raw moments that define us and really shape us into who we are today. So, Jami, thanks so much for being with me.
Yes, thank you so much for having me. I'm so fully excited and grateful for this opportunity.
Well, Jami, we usually just dive right in, and I would love to know what was one of your defining moments that you feel shaped you and led you to where you are today?
It was literally pain, pain in my back, lots of it, to the point where I couldn't stand up straight and barely walk. And I had to listen to my body because it had been speaking to me for so long. And because I ignored it, it started to scream at me. And that's when I started to just honor my body and start to listen and see what I can do to work with it instead of against it.
I love that you say it had been talking to you, but you ignored it. So then it got louder. What were the initial messages, the more subtle, soft messages of, hey, Jami, maybe you should slow down, take care of yourself? What did that look like for you?
Yeah, so honestly, if I think about it, the more I do, the more I know now. It goes all the way back to the day I was born. I was born with hip dysplasia. So I was born with carrying a lot of trauma and grief then, but I didn't understand all of the connections throughout my whole life until I started to really dive in and peel the layers back like an onion in my healing journey. And now I know and understand, and I'm like, but I can't turn back the time. I know what I know now. And honestly, when it came to I look back, it was inflammation, just kind of noticing in my body. But if I would to really say like the things that I really started to ignore was just like slight pains, uncomfortable, just ignoring it, just being like, oh, it'll pass, just keep pushing through. And I was an autopilot. So I was not able to slow down, to pause, and to really just like do like a body scan. How am I feeling? I just kept pushing things aside, and they were like getting pushed deeper and deeper into my body, into my tissues, even.
Mm. Yeah, and I think this is a great story for people to hear because this is what we do as human beings, right? We go, it's not that big of a deal. I can still function. I have a lot to do. I've got things, I got things on my plate. What am I going to do? Just stop, drop, and roll? So when you think about those moments when it got louder and got more intense and more painful, what ultimately was the reason you paused and you decided to not try to keep white knuckling your way through?
Yeah, it was when I really couldn't show up to be the best that I wanted to be for people. I am a social worker. My degree is in that, so I love to help people. And I was showing up. I worked serving for veterans, serving those who have served. And I was showing up, but I wasn't showing up fully.
Mhm.
And I was working through trying to heal. I was seeing chiropractor after chiropractor, and I was being overtreated.
Mhm.
And finally, they said, well, we can't help you anymore. You need surgery. And my first instinct was, no, that can't be it. There has to be more. And that's the first time I stood up for myself and
Mhm.
listened to my body. And once I did that and got a second opinion and found a chiropractor who saw me, um, heard me, and understood me, because that's all we really want. We all want to be seen, we want to be heard, and we want to be understood. And his energy was contagious. And he was like, oh, you're good. We got this. And I was like, we do? I literally was like, we do. Like, I got this. And it's all about energy, frequency. What we tell ourselves is what we believe.
Bingo.
So I took off from there. I started to look at it as whole health and started to take back control of my health and wellness. take back my power with the help of a chiropractor who specifically said, I'm going to help you, but you're going to do most of the work. And I was like, oh, okay, game on. And so from there, I just decided to move forward. And literally, I walked myself out of back surgery. I started to move more. I started to breathe. I started to change my whole lifestyle, my environments, what I was putting into my body physically, spiritually, as a whole, because all of those things were affecting me over the years. And it just started to layer more until all of a sudden my bucket started to explode with symptoms, along with like things like irritable bowel syndrome, lactose intolerance. All of these things were symptoms of my body speaking to me throughout the years to fix something or many things.
Mm. Yes, and I love this because you found someone who would partner with you, but also you understood that you had to take full responsibility for it and that you had to make changes.
Yeah, taking 100% accountability. So you don't know what you don't know. So giving myself grace. I didn't know what I didn't know. And now I know. And now I'm like, oh, knowledge is power, but what you do with it is even more powerful. And that's the thing. Like, we all have that inside of us. And I just can't wait to like open that up and empower that for everyone, because we all deserve to have a piece of that, to give that light out into the world. And when I found that person, a partner, in my healing journey, because I am the CEO of my own health and wellness, and everyone else are just partners in this journey. And it's a lifelong journey. There's no destination. And so I just keep finding all the perfect partners for my journey and living by faith over fear.
Mm, such a big one. So I like how you said, these are habits and lifestyles that just were adding up over the years. Would you say that most people don't even know what it feels like to feel good in their body?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, just because it's norm or common doesn't make it normal. And so yeah, we're just thinking like, oh, we're just getting old, or this is no. I know old people that don't feel that way because they're putting so much good into their self that they feel well and they feel alive. So I started to look at, when I was an autopilot, that instead of just existing, I was going to live. And instead of just surviving, I was going to start thriving. So I am a thriver. And that's what I believe that a lot of people are in, is like fight or flight survival mode.
Yeah.
And that's just their norm. And that's all they know. But there's now this shift happening in the world where it's like, no, this is not the way that it was meant to be. We were meant for so much more. We have a purpose, and we are to thrive, we are to live, we are to uplift one another, and do it together, because we are stronger together.
Mm. So true. Now, I'm going to go out on a limb here, Jamie, but I have observed this so much because I was a volunteer overseas in my 20s, and I observed the people who love to help, the helpers, the rescuers, the givers, right? And so often in their helping others, they actually discover their own survival, their own pain, their own illness. I couldn't tell you from a percentage wise in the nonprofit sector, a huge percentage of women end up with cancer. They end up taking this on in their body. Have you noticed the correlation between all of this and be able to give from a different place?
Yeah, absolutely, 100%. And as I went on through my healing journey and walking myself out of back surgery, that was just the tip of the iceberg. And I actually became a whole health coach through that. So I was living the life, and I applied for another job, and they said, I know you applied for this job, but I think you'd really be interested in this job. And once I looked at it, I was like, we have that here for the government, to heal through body, mind, and spirit, because that's what I'm doing. And they were like, well, we will. And I was going to be the first in Battle Creek. So I was like, that's my job. I believed that job was made for me. And I believe what we put out into the world is what we get back. And so because I was living that, you could say it manifesting, whatever it may be, I believe in that. It's all, we're co-creators in our
Bingo.
reality. And
Yes.
so it was less money, but I took the job. And right after my certification, I was diagnosed with ductal carcinoma in the left breast. And so that's when I was like, okay, stop, ask, why is this happening? What am I to learn from it? And what am I to do with this? Because I was like, I'm doing all of this work. I'm showing up. I'm in alignment. I'm feel fulfilled in what I'm doing. What else do I need to look at? My body was still telling me there was more, and it was deeper and deeper and deeper than I could have ever imagined in the beginning of this journey, until I started to literally pull back those layers more and more to the very core of my being, to my soul. And when we get down to our soul and we understand, like, I was like, it wasn't there. It was it had went somewhere else during the time of fight and flight, from trauma, from stress, from all of these things, especially as a woman, to feel as if you're to carry all of the weight on your shoulders. And I was carrying that, and I was just like compartmentalizing a lot of things in my life that I didn't understand that that's what I was doing, until I really looked at it and was like, there's something happening here. Cancer is a symptom. It is a symptom of something else happening. And it's not just one thing, it is many things. And that's what we have to understand. And as women, because we are different from men in many ways, we carry and hold on to much, much more on an emotional level. And so, like, things like my thyroid, I had T3 reverse syndrome. That is also connected to your voice. So when you
Yes.
don't feel heard, that can affect your thyroid as well. And so I started to get to that T3 reverse syndrome. I was like, okay, I found out I had mold toxicity. I found out I had heavy metal toxicity, overgrowth of candida, parasites, all of these things. And I was like, how did that happen? And I just sat and disconnected from all the garbage in life, the bull crap, and I reconnected with myself, with God, Jesus as my savior, the earth, Mother Gaia, and each other. And I started to just see with the eyes and hear with the ears that I needed to hear with, and move forward in this journey of knowing, like, I invited those things into my body. I created an environment that those things thrived in, not intentionally, not at all. I thought I was helping the world. I've always known that I wanted to be a part of saving the world. And it just seemed like a lot. And I'm like, how am I ever going to help save the world? Right? From a very young age. And I've always been a very highly sensitive person since I was very young. My mom was always like, you're so sensitive. And I've always been very curious and asking questions, to the point where they were like, are you writing a book? Yeah, like, we should. And that's just how I've been. So all of these things are like in alignment of like where I am at now in my healing, because I know I'm part of healing the world, but it's so simple in the way that we need to do so, to where we don't have to carry the weight of everyone. It first and foremost starts with ourselves. That's how we change the world, and that's how we heal the world. We heal ourselves, and then we heal the world as a collective, as a whole. And those vibrations that go out, it creates a ripple effect, and that is how we heal the world. And I'm just like, this whole time I was so worried about, like, how am I going to help everyone and fix everything? And it starts here. And it started with loving myself enough to see that I was somebody. Like, I almost didn't see myself as a person. It was, I seen every single other person and help them do this for this person, but not myself. So I neglected me, a child of God. Um, and I was like, oh, okay. I'm taking accountability for all of these things. I'm taking it. So this is a lot of shadow work,
Yes.
healing and acceptance and accountability. And because I believe once I heal to the very core of my being and call my soul back to me, I will be healed in a way that not only am I going to help heal the world and just for putting out those vibrations, but I'm going to create an impact, inspire, and empower others to do the same. And that's like a domino effect. And that's
Absolutely.
exciting.
Yes, and what I love is this, is that every time someone does what you have done, we have another example of what it looks like to love yourself, to take care of yourself, to be connected to yourself. Another example of connection and wholeness and harmony, because we have plenty of examples of the other. And even just having one more example, people can find the way. They can find their own way because it's like, oh yeah, she found her path. I can find mine. And
Yes.
so I love that because it's true. Instead of it's this external thing of like, oh, I have to help those people. It's like, no, I do the work and that helps everyone.
Yeah, it's a gateway. Once you do that, I've seen beautiful, beautiful things happen, synchronicities, opportunities. I am healing, I am growing. I'm still going through my wellness journey, but everything that I need and person or partners that I need is coming together in a way that I'm able to know is a piece of the puzzle through faith instead of fear, because a lot of it's fear-based in Western medicine today.
Oh,
And that's
yes.
what happened to me in the beginning of my ductal carcinoma diagnosis when they just put me on a conveyor belt. Didn't give me time to think about to make my own decision for what was best for me, because we're all unique individuals and we all have a unique individual formula, and that is what I'm so passionate about and empowering others to understand. And so I literally talk the talk, I walk the walk, and that's energy that people I work with can feel. So it's not just about that I say this because I get paid to do it or I'm just talking. It's because I believe in it, I practice it, and it's part of my purpose. And so that makes all of the difference that I get to do that every day. I wake up and I say, I get to do this. This is what I get to do. And no matter what happens to me, today is not promised, tomorrow is not promised. I know that I am living a well lived life, that I was meant to live the path that I was meant to take, maybe not taken by many, but it is a path that made all of the difference. And that is true fulfillment. And I feel like I have figured it out. It is like the secret that I'm telling everybody.
Yes, yes. And that is what life's about, right? That's
Yeah.
where the joy that isn't dependent on external things because you go, oh my gosh, I found my path. I'm living it. Oh, okay. I connected the dots. I can see the bigger picture. I can be in the moment. Yes, it's all come together.
Yeah, yeah, all glory to God too, because without that, I feel like it brought me closer because I was on this path of not really knowing where that fit in for me.
Mhm.
I didn't grow up religious or in the church, and so I've always tried to figure it out on my own. I went to Spring Arbor University to learn more. I started to just like find different churches to go to, and just to what felt right, to feel what was good for me. And I just believe when I connected to my own path, for me, that it opened up that gateway. And one day I was skipping down my road and I was like, wow, I'm skipping. I haven't skipped in like years. What has gotten into me? And before I could even like pause to think, the word Jesus came out of my mouth. And
Mm.
that's why I was like, oh, yes, like there it is. And that's when I start to understand Christ consciousness
Yes.
and how that we are one. And because I was always like trying to wrap my head around all of this, and that's the first thing that you need to understand is that foundation, and the rest will come from there.
Mm.
And that's empowering.
Yes, yes. And I think it brings us back to this place of how we are all connected. So Everything
Yes.
you're doing for yourself, you're also doing for, like you said, we all benefit because we are absolutely connected.
Oh my gosh, 100%. And not only am I doing it for me, I'm doing it for you. I'm doing it for my daughters. I'm doing it for my lineage. I am
Yes.
healing my lineage, and I'm working with a shaman right now. And that's been life changing of really, because I was like, felt stuck for a little. I'm like, I'm doing all of this work, but it just felt like there was more I had to get to. And we connected. And because of the work that I'm doing, to a point where I had to understand that sometimes the work that I need to do is so heavy and deep that you need somebody in that position to help you get to that. So, I mean, it's breaking generational curses that I'm doing, healing generational trauma, and that yet has been the most powerful thing I've done. And I would have never said that's something I would have done starting on my healing journey. But because I keep going and I keep getting to uncomfortable things and doing all these uncomfortable things, it just feels like everything is happening for me.
Yes. Yes. And I love that. Actually, just last Monday, I did another session on this because this is work I'm always doing. And I had this aha moment, you know, because I'm back to where I grew up, been here for the last few years. And when I woke up, I realized, you know, things will just continue as they have until one person wakes up and has enough awareness to say, you know what, we don't want to do it like this anymore. And then you are like forwards and backwards, you're saying, we're setting a new template. We're laying this out in a different way. And this rolled through your lineage until you said, hey, you know what? I don't live with pain. I'm not accepting this. I'm not just going to do a surgery and a drug and a band-aid. I am going to go as deep as I have to go so that it's different from this
Yeah.
point forward.
Yeah, yeah, it ends here with in my lineage for that with that pain and that trauma. It ends here. That's why I'm like, oh, it's so hard, but I chose this. I chose to do this. I signed up for it. So I know that I am on my mission, my aspiration, and my purpose. That's my map. And it's hard at times. Like there's days where I'm like, I don't know if I can do this anymore. Why did I sign up for this? Like that's when I pull tools out of my toolbox. I go to people that I know that are support me and encourage me and lift me up, and you know, as a whole. So I know I can't do it by myself, and for so long I thought I had to, and that was one of the biggest problems that I had for myself, is I always thought I could do everything myself on my own, just keep going, I don't need anybody else. But that goes through you know, things that such that I learned, like abandonment, um, from a young age, and so I had to really heal from that as well. There's many things that I'm healing from that's helping me, and I do believe through all of this that I go through in my healing journey. I go to City of Hope next or tomorrow to meet with a team that works with a naturopath, nutritionist. They see me, they hear me, and they understand my healing path. And I believe that when we open up these gates and all of these things come in, like I will be able to know, like, okay, this is where I need to go moving forward. Because when I started in the Western medicine with the ductal carcinoma, I was lied to, I was misguided, I lost trust. And I do believe Western medicine and holistic can come together very beautifully when needed. It can be great on its own, and both the other one on its own as well. So you just got to know when and where. You got to follow that path and when it's appropriate. And so that's what I believe in, that we have to get that out there to understand that we take back our power, we walk in our path, we ask questions, we think for ourselves, and we do what is best for us. And that's how we're going to thrive, and the best opportunity that's going to come out for me, because I found that all these underlying issues of EDS, that's something that many people don't even know about. And if I would have known I had EDS or in hip dysplasia, they go together, and so does many of the other ailments that I have. So it's important that the surgeons know and understand EDS in a surgical procedure such as that they're recommending, and they did not know that. So It's just bringing awareness and knowledge as a whole and just keep moving forward and trusting and just know like you're doing the best that you can with what you have and that is enough. And then do better when you know better.
Absolutely. Jamie, I am so glad that you are on your path. Where can people learn more about you and the work that you do?
So I do have a Facebook page called Wellness Activated. And so that's pretty new. I mean, it's about a year that I started. So I started really small because I was like, well, I do want to bring awareness. I never really liked to be center of attention. So it was really hard for me to be loud and like boisterous. But now that I'm opening up my throat chakra, that's changed. And I'm like, we all have a voice and we all have a story. And we all need to help in telling our stories so that way we can uplift each other, inspire, and keep moving forward. So Wellness Activated is a page and that I have. It has the spiral and the sand because I always say like we're going in a spiral. It's like a loop that we keep going, but we need to go up, spiral up,
Mm.
up, 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 and evolve. And so that's my Facebook page. And then I'm writing a book. Um, Also called How Cancer, and I put it in quotation marks because to me, cancer is a symptom and it's all these other ailments that coming on many things. And so, how cancer saved my life because I would not be living and I would not be thriving as I am today without that diagnosis. And it was an opportunity for me to grow to be my true authentic self, which puts out the highest frequency that you can possibly have and to help others to do the same. So, healing or how cancer saved my life, healing from the inside out from trauma, stress, and toxins. So, that'll be coming out hopefully sooner or later. I started that as a therapeutic tool.
Mhm.
And I said, if it's meant to go out to the world, it will. And this opportunity that you have offered has really opened me up to knowing and validating that it does need to get out there. So I appreciate you for all that you do, everything that you are, and helping in this movement and this shift.
It's my pleasure. Jamie, we're looking forward to reading your story and transforming pain into purpose. It's coming out later this month. Thank you so much for joining me today. And for those of you who are watching, this is a great example of no matter where you are today, you can take steps. You have a path, and there's always a way forward. Until
Yes,
next,
thank you.
thanks, Jamie. Bye.
Be well.